Hello, hello. Welcome to Biased, the video series where I talk about things that I enjoy for your enjoyment. This is your host, your favorite man-child, Super Jesus Jackson. We're back at it again. Today, we will be talking about Scatterbrain by Radiohead. It was released as the 13th track off of their 6th studio album, Hail to the Thief, on June 9th, 2003. And it is an art song, an art rock song, but it is more alternative than art rock. This one grew on me. I listened to it once, and it wasn't until I listened to it consecutively afterwards that's when it started to grow on me. The song begins with an eerie mood to it, thanks to the really somber guitar playing and the steady percussion. So the album as a whole has this really political theme to it, and I figured that maybe Tom York was kind of referring to a soldier in a battlefield the entire time with these lyrics. So the protagonist talks about extreme weather conditions like wind, but I kind of saw it as more of as a metaphor about a soldier like being in a battlefield, experiencing really stressful, anxious conditions. And the album as a whole has this overarching political theme to it. So I figured that this song was also talking about something political like war. The 10-4 scale could be a metaphor to the extreme conditions that one faces during war. The chaotic nature of it, similar, like wind. Bullets for hail, birds thrown around. I mean, what do people do to birds? They shoot them, right? And I guess in this case, birds could be also a metaphor for human beings, right? In a battlefield. There also is a constant reference to household things, like when he mentions Tom York, when he mentions the windowsill lyric and the roof. I guess the house as a whole is a representation of maybe the mind state of this individual, but also the physical state. So, all the physical things that the human body endures during a battle, also the mental stuff that is going on. I also love the moaning vocals after he talks about the rapping on his windowsill. Has a beautiful melody and beautiful instrumentation in the background. All the vocal melodies in the song are incredible, and it only gets better from here. Trust me. The second verse comes in, and I love that the cymbals come in here, and they're picking up pace, really just kind of speeding up the song in a way. Kind of a metaphor to, winds picking up in, a beach or something. There are some additional soldier in a battlefield references in the second verse, particularly, the moving target, stuff like that. And I mean, I also the name of the song in general, right? The Scatterbrain. I mean, what happens when you shoot someone in the head, right? But the second half of the song is where the real magic happens. It's where, you can start thinking about different possible lyrical interpretations, and the music itself also gives you the ability to do that because it's where the song is in its most visceral and haunting state. The guitar melody is absolutely heart-wrenching. It goes from eerie, moody, and uncertain to beautiful and warm, which is like a very Radiohead thing. And I have to mention, I love how reserved Radiohead is. I mean, they have integrity, right? Like, they will introduce something that is amazing, beautiful, in a musical section, and they'll only do it like once, and then they'll like never do it again in like in the song afterwards, and then you're just like, why? Like, just give it to me. Like, why do you take it away from me? It's like giving like a kid a candy, but then just like taking it away from him the moment he takes a bite, and but I hate it, but I love it because in a way, it's like they give themselves integrity and they don't overdo it and they respect, the greatness of that specific part. It's effective because, perhaps if we received that part more than we needed, we wouldn't appreciate it anymore. We wouldn't love it. So the very first time when they present the riff in this musical section it's in its most pure and beautiful form. And then the subsequent times they play it, they change up the ending of the riff, and it's no longer as beautiful. I still love it, but see, that's where the magic is, right? Because you only have that, the pristine version of this riff just once, and then you never have it again. But that's why it's effective. I believe that it's effective in its own, within of itself, but I mean, it obviously adds more when, it has more exclusivity to it. It was so aggravating, but yet so genius at the same time. So the protagonist here is saying, somewhere I'm not Scatterbrain. And this is where I was like, maybe the lyrics are talking about the soldier, in a battlefield, wishing he was in a place of peace, not war. A place where he doesn't have the ability, the possibility to die, And that made a lot more sense. But then I was like, what if maybe no? Maybe it's a lot more simple. Maybe it's about a person's mental state. That's it. Like a person who is anxious, who is contradicting, who has this chaotic mind, and then them just wishing for some peace for once in their life. And that was much more relatable to me because obviously, I'm really a soldier, I don't really have that bias to me. I'm a much more introspective person. So that interpretation made a lot more sense to me. And it was very, very heart-wrenching to me. It was soothing. It was connecting with me and I was connecting with it, but that's what music's for, right? You confide in it, when no one else can. The whole wind metaphors could, relate to anything and everything, it can relate to a battlefield, it can relate to, how a person's mind is chaotic and really powerful and destructive. Everything is justified here. It all makes sense, okay? Hell, this song might even be about love, Who knows? I love this vocal melody too. It goes perfectly with the instrumentation, I guess, in the background, or the vocal effects that are applied. So he says lightning fuse power cut, and then like right after it, he says Scatterbrain, and the vocal melody, the effects that he uses, like literally it cuts abruptly, like as if, the power was literally cut. I think it's quite genius. Anyways, guys, that was my factually correct take on Radiohead's Scatterbrain. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Let me know in the comment section below. I would really like to hear your thoughts. This was yet another episode of Biased, the video series where I talk about things that I enjoy for your enjoyment. And this was your host, once again, your favorite man-child, Super Jesus Jackson. I don't really need to say that again, do I? I can't help it, though. It feels kind of nice to do it. Yes, baby. Please go ahead and check out my previous Bias video, the one where I talk about The Cure's In Your House, which is an incredibly underrated song. Please, for the love of God, like the video, share with your friends, comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content. But at the end of the day, of course, I appreciate your viewership. It means more than anything. Check out my social medias and my original music. The links are in the description below. There we go. Until next time, guys, I love you. Yes, baby. Hell yeah, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm pulling in all nasty and shit on this fucking video. I'm about to put subscribe on this shit because, like, I need them subscriptions and shit. Oh, shit. Fuck yeah. Movie recording has been stopped automatically.